Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's your boy Jack OATz to go. You either know or you don't. So, you guys, I'm gonna stand on this Belphegor theory for until Tabata pulls a rug from underneath my feet. I mean, I feel like it's the only thing that makes sense to me. And you guys have already seen, hopefully, my other few videos on Belphegor. If you haven't, go back and watch those. I mean, it just makes sense to me. But I did do some more research, as I normally do when I do have some off time. And I found some pretty interesting things. So I just kind of want to add on to this. And in this, I'll also be talking about Lucifer and then some other interesting things that these thoughts kind of give way to in this series. So, first, before I get into it, thank you guys for tuning in. You guys are the best. Again, love the support. You guys have been nothing but amazing, and loving all the conversations. So, I mean, the series is so goated, and the way Tabata is weaving in and out of lore is just expert. It's just expert. So, if you don't like Black Clover for anything else, you have to stay for how Tabata is writing this lore, because it is masterful for sure. All right, so let's get into it. So we find a character in lore that is called Balberith, but this is just another name that Belphegor has in some traditions. And Balberith's duty, if you will, is to notarize the pact between man and devil. So this definitely kind of makes sense when you think about it, because when we go back to the beginning of the Spade Arc, or just before the Spade Arc, where we're introduced to the Triad, it seems as though Dante is the one who is teaching Xenon and Vonica how to use the power of the devils, and it seems as though, given this definition, that it could be that it is Balberith who is the one who is overlooking these contracts, because Balberith is known as the master of ceremonies. So it's a really cool connection to make. But also, Balberith in some traditions is also stated to be either one or two separate beings. And the other being, his name is Elbereth. So you'll have Balberith and Elbereth. And I mean, this is just some stuff to think about, I guess, but I'm still married to the idea myself that Dante is Belphegor and Morris is Lucifero, but it could also go with the two separate Beriths, giving us similar union patterns that we see with Morris and Dante. But I want to go further into Dante having Belphegor and Morris having Lucifero. So we see in Dante's 100% form that he acquires a mask. So we have to look at the Tree of Life and Qliphoth, of course. You can't look at one without looking at the other. So if we look at the Tree of Life, we have Tiferet, which is the throne of beauty on the Sephiroth. It is shadowed by Tigirion, which is Belphegor's palace on the Qliphoth. This means Belphegor is in direct opposition of beauty, and therein lies the duty to hide or mask beauty in its truest form. And if you've seen my past videos of Belphegor, you already know that. But to go even further, Tigirion, or Tiferet, are the only Sephira, or the Clip, that connects to all the other thrones except the Malkut and Nemoth. This means that they not only represent the other thrones, but also hold the respective trees together. It's no coincidence that the planetary sign of Tiferet and Tigirion is the Sun. The Sun is roughly the center of our galaxy, in which all of our planets revolve around, due to it, here it comes, due to its gravitational pull. This gives us the idea of what devils truly are in BC. While the Sephiroth contains abstract ideas and influences, the Qliphoth gives us the very solid and literal substances that affect our world just as much, if not more, than their light counterparts. This is why we get Magicula as the source of all curses, and this is a direct influence on the world of the living, giving humans laws they must abide by. Demons are even mentioned in physics, in real life. We have Maxwell's demon and Laplace's demon being the most well-known, but then we have magic stones in BC, where I would personally equate them to Philosopher's Stones, where they bring perversion to elements. But this is getting a bit off topic, so I'm gonna go back. if we take the concept of the Sephiroth and the Clipbot, we should be able to come to the conclusion that the abilities of those in the Sephiroth would somewhat mirror those on the Clipbot. Take this and apply it to Raya, whose throne is in Bina, which is the heavenly husk of understanding. We know Raya gains the abilities of the mage whose grimoire he touches. This is an outward expression that Tabata uses of understanding. Then take what we see with Morris. It's almost the same ability, however, it seems that Morris is able to attain more than just magic, but also knowledge and experience. This does seem like a better version of Raya's ability, and paralleling that with lore, that would make the most sense since Lucifer does predate almost all beings. So now we have to take all of this and apply it to everything else. We have Lilith and Nama, and if you saw my post that I made on Twitter, I'll put the main picture of the idea up here. I say that we obviously see two halves to both Nama and Lilith. One looking just like a regular, I guess, humanoid form, and then the next side being either ice or flame. I don't know if we can like solidly say that Nama has flame, but I would just go with flame for now. I hope it's personally like curses or curse flames maybe. But that goes into some other stuff I'm probably going to put in a different video or put on Twitter. But take this concept that if they have dual attributes, so take Lilith, for example, where she would have ice on one side with the more demonic looking arm, and then the more humanoid side would have the power of nightmares, which Lilith is attributed to, and so is Nama. But if we look at Nama now, we have the fire or whatever magic Nama would have, and then the humanoid side would also be something along the lines of nightmare. Nama, I think, is more attributed to sounds of nightmares. And so when using their powers in tandem, the humanoid side, where they are otherwise opposite, they are now in unison with this ability. And the ones who directly counter Nama and Lilith would be Patri, and also I forgot Dorothy's elf name. If you remember, put it in the comment section below because I'm not remembering it. But we know that Dorothy has dream magic and Patri has a light magic. So that means we're going to see some form of darkness coming from one, and then the manifestation of nightmares coming from the other. I think this makes a lot of sense, and they're probably going to be better at it because Lilith and Nama predate just about every living being ever. So these devils coming out are the real deal. And I think I'm going to stop there because I think I gave you enough information into a pretty well-timed video to be able to get a good idea of what I'm talking about. So let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Let me know what you thought about this on Twitter. Things are about to get really exciting, and Tabata took a break from last week for a reason. I think this next chapter is going to be a banger, and I think it's because he's going to maybe reveal more about Lilith and Nama. And just as a pre-spoiler to what will be either my next tweet or my next video, Lilith and Nama should reveal a lot about how the world works and might provide some detail on how spirits came to be, like Sylph, Undine, and all of that. So I'm really excited to see what Tabata has for us coming this week and the upcoming weeks, of course. But yeah, that's kind of all I got for you guys. I don't want to spoil too much because the next video should be relatively exciting because it'll be more... we're going to see those results like now, rather than what we're talking about right now. Also, another thing, you heard it here first, so if you hear anyone else saying this, you say Jack said it first. But Lilith, not knowing about the powers of the first few devils in the Clipbot, and it being a miscalculation, makes a lot of sense, because Noct may have encountered Lilith and or Nama already, because Lilith shows up in the lore of Faust and Mephistopheles, and Faust and Lilith actually dance together. So that's all I'm going to say about that, but that's what I'm going to talk about in, again, either my next video or my next tweet. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, I suggest you do, or at least find me on Twitter so you can read my stuff. You don't have to follow me. But like I said, all really interesting stuff. Again, let me know what you think about this in the comment section below, what your thoughts on this is. Find me on Twitter, all about the conversations. Other than that, thank you guys for tuning in. You guys are the best. This has been OATz to go. You either know or you don't.